One time.
Ron, let's talk about October 1st.
Sure.
I know the industry is very much anticipating this day. I don't know that the public really knows what's about to happen, but big changes are coming into play here in the state's marijuana shops. So can you tell us some of the things customers might notice as this changeover starts to take effect and what the dates are?
Sure. So the biggest step is that we've identified a new universal symbol for marijuana. And it is a red diamond with an exclamation point in the middle, and it also includes the letters THC. On the medical side, it also includes an M to denote that it's medical marijuana. Sure. That was the first important step in this process to really try to really enhance public safety, public health, and more importantly to allow consumers and non-consumers alike to be able to identify edible products that contain marijuana, whether it's in the package or outside the package. So all of our manufacturers that are licensed to produce marijuana-infused edibles, beginning on October 1st, will be required to manufacture them with that symbol actually printed, stamped, or marked on the actual product itself. It will also be required to be on the label, along with wording that says, this contains marijuana, and please keep it out of the reach of children. But the most important thing, and really it's a result of House Bill 1366, which was passed back in 2014, is the legislature, and I think all of us have an interest in what happens when that package gets torn open and something gets laid on a table. We want the opportunity for someone to look at that, recognize that universal symbol, and say, this contains marijuana. And so it really gives that ability for people to identify marijuana-infused products.
And that's a valid concern, because
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people who aren't in the state, and we have a lot of viewers, listeners, readers who are not in Colorado, they're not quite fully aware that, right now, if you go to a shop, maybe you open up that package of gummies, and outside of the package, those gummies, the crackers, the chocolate bar are not marked in any particular or uniform way.
Right.
And I was just talking the other day with some friends about this, and my friends aren't in the industry, but they said, you know what, I'm glad that they're doing that. Even as an adult who has no children, it's just a good reminder to me that when I consume that, there is weed in that.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we think it's going to be also important for school resource officers and administrators at schools to be able to know, if a student's consuming marijuana on the campus, that it gives them another tool to identify that and stop it from happening. Because right now, the feedback we receive from a lot of school administrators and law enforcement that deal with youth in our educational facilities is that they don't know. I mean, they could have a sucker or they could have a cookie, and they just don't know any better. And at least this gives another tool to them to be identifying that kind of behavior.
And so October 1st, they have to manufacture these.
Correct.
When do the old versions of edibles expire? Is that also October 1st, or is that later on in the year?
So beginning December 1st, retail stores and medical marijuana centers can no longer sell products unless they have the universal symbol marked on them. Now there's one exception to that, actually two exceptions. During this current legislative session that ended in May, the legislature carved out an exception for liquids. So what they said is the universal symbol has to be on the label. They can have a liquid up to 100 milligrams, but it has to have a container that's child resistant, and the measuring device has to be part of that container. So that exception was granted by the legislature during this session. The other thing is bulk products. So think of things like granola or powders. There's no way to really mark that universal symbol on them. So those have to be manufactured in 10 milligram individual servings, and it has to be in a child-resistant package.
Oh, sure. Okay. And all that goes into effect on December 1st.
Right. So the consumer in the store will, the reality is a lot of our manufacturers, because we passed this rule last November, A lot of them are already doing it, and they've been responsible and they've been proactive with it. So you'll already see a lot of products in the stores that, you know, the chocolates and some of the other confections where they're already putting that universal symbol on it and have been for some time.